Emmanuel Macron has once again come under fire for repeating inaccurate claims that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine was almost ineffective on people aged over 65. The embattled French president also alleged, again without any evidence, that the Anglo-Swedish drug giant and the British government had engaged in questionable behavior aimed at disrupting the flow of COVID-19 vaccines into Europe. Senior British officials said Mr. Macron's incendiary remarks exposed the enormous political pressure he was under at home. His approval ratings have nosedived as a result of his handling of the coronavirus pandemic and France's disastrously slow vaccine rollout program, and far-right leader Marine Le Pen is now outpolling him with presidential elections looming in 2022. Some critics suggested Mr. Macron's unfounded claims about the AstraZeneca drug and the UK's conduct were attempts to deflect from his own failings as politicians and bureaucrats across the EU try to dodge responsibility for the ongoing vaccine debacle and Friday night's ham-fisted attempt to stop exports arriving in the UK via Ireland. They also say the French leader has found it hard to accept Britain's vaccine success story, which began when a highly effective drug was developed in record time by a team of brilliant scientists and researchers at Oxford University. Mr. Macron could only look on as the vaccine was swiftly approved by UK medicines regulators and then deftly delivered in a remarkable mass vaccination program which has so far seen 11% of the population receive jabs compared with less than 1.9% in France. The French, meanwhile, have failed to produce a vaccine of their own, which has also sparked criticism of the country's leadership. The acclaimed Pasteur Institute abandoned its main vaccine research project last week after failing to make sufficient headway, while French pharma group Sanofi has also admitted defeat and suspended research. Macron ally François Bayrou tried to blame the US for encouraging a French brain drain, but was forced to admit, it's a sign of the decline of the country. The vaccine fiasco comes as France finds itself in deep recession after the coronavirus pandemic slashed total economic output by 8.3%. Analysts said the figures were slightly better than the 9.0% shrinkage predicted by the official statistics office INSEE, as the impact of a second lockdown in the latter part of the year was not as great as the first introduced last March, but is still the country's biggest economic downturn since World War II.